we all have times where we just think, what am I doing? How do I start increasing my profits? How do I raise my ASP, which is average selling price? I sell on the platforms eBay and Poshmark, and sometimes I feel like I go to videos like this to seek inspiration and that little bit of a kick, just to tell me to keep going. Because if you feel like your business is stalling or you've hit a plateau of some sort, it's so hard sometimes to find the motivation to keep moving. Today I'm here to give you that little piece of inspiration, to give somebody some inspiration, just an idea to think about. I love to run, and reselling and running have absolutely nothing in common, right? However, I've trained for and completed 2 marathons. And training for marathons, the mindset that you need to have as a full-time, to expand your either full-time or part-time reselling business, is there's so many parallels. So today I'd like to share a few of those parallels and a few of those ideas that I have towards that paralleled mindset, just to help someone out there. I hope I can bring value and help somebody feel grateful for everything they have and the opportunities that we have to resell. We live in an amazing time where we can have these online platforms and work from home. So I just want to start with that. So when I was training for a marathon, let me start over. When I started running, I thought, people are nuts. How do they run more than a mile? I couldn't run a mile straight without stopping and walking and taking a break and just reassessing everything. It took me a good 3 or 4 months to run further than a mile, but it was being consistent. It's that consistency and that just dedication to, I'm going to get over this hump, dedication to getting over the mile mark, and not feeling like I'm just going to collapse when I'm done. Because I could walk all day long. I couldn't run anywhere. So I just kept going. And one of my friends, I used to instruct workout classes, and one of my friends at the gym asked me if I'd like to run a 5K with her, and I said, absolutely not at first, and thought, there's no way I can do this. No way will I be able to complete any type of race and run 3 miles without just feeling like I'm gonna collapse at the end. So I finally completed this 5K, and after that it was probably a year or so, and I started running 10Ks, and then I decided I was going to train for a marathon. But there's so much behind that. If you spend all day planning, like, someday I'm going to do this, someday I'm going to run a marathon, someday I'm going to list 20 items, but first I need to plan and prepare, and I don't have all the right photography equipment and all the right access to the internet all the time. If you think like that, you're not going to do it. You're not going to complete that marathon. You're not going to get those 20 listings done. You're not ever even going to list 1 item. I'm telling you to be relentless, be deliberate with your time, be intentional. If you have distractions in your life, that's great that you know, if it's children or a family, it's great that you should be grateful you have people that need your attention and love you. And at the same time, you need to gather the support from them. If they're supportive and loving, they are going to help you just push forward. You're doing this for them too, because if your dream is to run a marathon, or your dream is to resell, or both, or, you know, I'm just trying to make a comparison. You're going to be able to do it through just small actions. Even if you have distractions, it's okay. Let that be motivation when you do have time to work harder and faster and try to be more efficient. I have the most amazing husband in the world. He He is very supportive of my business. He will take packages to the mail or to the post office if I ask him. He watches the girls that we share. Anytime I want to go sourcing for my online business, but those sacrifices that we both make to achieve success in this reselling business are the same. You have to apply these same principles whether you're talking about running or reselling, because when you go out and you train, say you go run for 3 miles, you're saying no to everything else, right? But you're saying yes to yourself, and you have to do that. You have to work towards these goals. You can't get stuck in the planning mode. You can't get paralyzed by planning. If you plan, tomorrow I'm going to run 2 miles, but you don't intentionally, make that happen. You don't seek assistance if you have children that need to be cared for while you're doing this, and that's part of reselling too. You can be at home with your children reselling, but you still have to set aside some time to make sure you're working on your business, because it's very easy. I have this amazingly soft heated blanket, and I could curl up with my husband and watch movies all day long with this blanket. But I know to really feel that sense of accomplishment, no one's going to do that for me. I have to do it for myself. I have to do the listing or do, all these things that I intend to do. I actually take action on them and do them every day, or else I wouldn't feel the reward of cozying up next to my husband with this nice blanket. And he is such a great balance in my life, because he bought this for me for Christmas. And I know when he bought it, he was taking a risk, because he was probably thinking, when is she ever going to sit down and hang out with me? But that's why he's so good for me. He brings balance to my life in so many ways. And he's extremely supportive, and I really appreciate him through and through. However, he is not going to, and nobody is going to, be able to accomplish what you can accomplish, what you need to do to either run a marathon or start a reselling business. You don't even need a lot of time. You just need to do something. You need to take action one day at a time. You need to get to work, because planning on doing it tomorrow and planning on doing it later today isn't going to get it done, and you're not going to feel that sense of accomplishment when it's time to switch off and cuddle with your soft blanket. You're going to feel like it's not really a reward. It's not a true reward when you haven't put in the work to earn that time, that downtime. Downtime is for after you get your work done. So with that being said, this is just a little bit of tough love, and from the bottom of my heart, I mean it in the nicest way. I don't mean anything to be mean or negative. Sometimes I like these videos when people talk about just go get it done. Just go do your work, and then you'll have time for everything else later. If your children need snacks throughout the day, or you have a full-time job and you need to go to that and pay attention and, do your job, then you do that. But if you have a dream of something that you want to cultivate, you have to cultivate it. It's kind of like a garden, or running, or reselling. You have to do a little bit every day. If you don't water that garden, it's not going to grow. If you don't nurture things, whether it's a reselling business or your running program, because running is a science. There's so much more to it than just putting on a pair of shoes and hitting the streets. Just like reselling, there's so much to it, but don't get paralyzed by that planning and thinking about it. Don't think you need to lose 10 pounds to go for a run. And this I'm not telling you to go run or to resell. It's just a little bit of inspiration, and sometimes I need to tell myself all these things to kind of give myself that extra oomph to get moving. So with that being said, go get to work. Happy reselling. Bye.